I hope. Well, hey there, everyone. It's time again for Astronomy Daily Live. It's 2 hours UTC, and it's time again to gather together and think and talk astronomical things and space things, and, well, you know, who knows what other kinds of tangents we can get off of, but try at least, to stay in to stay in the groove, of the science of astronomy. So well, come on in, everybody. Come on in. I'm seeing a few gather around, checking the chat as well. Atta is there. Hey, yep. And Nightbot is still active and alive, so that's being a lot of fun. Still really don't see any real value or anything to it, but it's there as a resource, and maybe at some time in the future it will be. So who knows? I think these bots might be pretty useful in terms of like spam and trolls, right? But this channel, this live stream isn't at that level yet. So I don't think that Nightbot is going to have much to do. It can tell us the weather, which is kind of fun. Here, I'll do mine. I wanted to know what it was today anyway. Let's see. Well, it's taking its time. There it is. Okay. Yeah, it's a little colder today. So, had some clouds. So, anyway, come on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, back on the panel, which seems like ages, is Tom. Hey there, Tom. Nice to see you.
Hey, Cosmic. It's good to be back on the panel again. It's been a while.
I always say that one of the greatest things about traveling is going home. So I think that's usually my favorite part, is the going home part.
Yeah, I agree. It was good to get home. Cool. A fun few days there on the road. So
yeah, nice. And Bobby is back in the panel too. Hey there, Bobby.
Hey, just got done with IBC Digital, just some text this time.
All right.
And I hope that everybody did watch the Mars InSight rating. I did.
Yes. Mars InSight lands.
I was like, oh my gosh, you thought it was going to be. I think you're right about one thing. It is a nail biter.
It's a nail biter every single time. So yeah, and
they did the landing procedure quite differently than other Mars landings, where they got like an orbiting satellite that tells you, hey, it's all good. But this time they had those tracking CubeSats, which allows the possibility of letting it more efficiently than have an orbiting satellite telling you what to do.
Yes, they had Marco A and Marco B, which are the first interplanetary CubeSats, and they're well, one of their jobs was to attempt to relay the live telemetry coming from InSight. So as InSight,
like the Deep Space Network kind of Bob as well.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that path was this,
I
right?
wanted to get the Deep Space Network as a form of an app.
I don't know. I don't know. You probably can. So
it depends if my tablet's battery is still juiced.
yeah.
Probably not.
So InSight is coming in, right? It's transmitting on its UHF channel, right?
My battery's dead.
Marco, both A and B, can hear that UHF signal because they are close enough, right? I mean, it's a nice strong signal. They repeat that back to the Deep Space Network in X band, and so yeah, they got what they were hoping for, and that was live telemetry all the way in. So yeah, and yeah, I mean, things happen really fast though too, right? I mean, it's just like, I mean, there's a lot of things that happen, right? But they happen really, really fast. So yeah, when she was counting down the height, it seemed like it was going really fast. But yeah, I mean, obviously it got down and it actually transmitted a picture, right? A color picture. So that's pretty extraordinary. Did you all see that? I can show it off here for posterity's sake. I think I put it over on Discord, or did I? I don't remember. I guess we're gonna find out. Where did I put it? No, that's not it. Maybe I put it here. Okay, so
I don't think they have a app yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at the apps on NASA.gov right now.
Yeah, and so what I wanted to do was go over and see if they had any news on whether the solar panels had deployed. Does anybody have any info on that? Because I guess I'm not seeing any updates. Let's just see if there's an update here. This is just the fact that it landed. Fast to slow. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any info here. But I'm thinking that by now the solar panels must have deployed. So, wonder where we can get some info on that. Don't know.
Yeah, so the DSN does not have I would say, a smartphone app as of yet.
Okay. Yeah, you know, I think it's DSN now? Yeah. So, I think I've shown this one before, right? And it looks like everything there's not a lot of communication going on. There's STF, which is Spitzer. But it doesn't look like anything else. I guess this is an indication of data transmission. So I'm not quite sure more detail. Okay, so
I think, to be honest, I'm really going to love this Deep Space Network, trying to get all the data and then have it ready in matter of at any time.
Oh yeah, the DSN is absolutely awesome. Didn't I provide a link to a sort of a really detailed description of the Deep Space Network? I thought that I had.
don't know either.
Shown you all that somewhere. Let's oh, search far and wide. Nothing. Space network. Looking. Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that little presentation right there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Let's see if I can, let's see, it's called Deep Space Network. So, because, yeah, this thing isn't letting me, this is just a link. I've got to jump to it, I guess. Okay, so from here, see if I can get an actual, yeah, see, it's going to go to NASA JPL Live, which is not, but we can do NASA. I don't know which one it is. It's got to be one of these. Anyway, yeah, just look for NASA Deep Space Network, and you'll get. I'm pretty sure this is the one.
I think the one that you're hovering on right now is got to get.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. So InSight is down. InSight is down, but yeah, unfortunately, I don't have any other info on whether the solar panels deployed, because I'm pretty sure that they should have by now. I think it was something like 5 hours.
So you have a successful landing, a successful photo, but then you have a problem with the solar panels, or what about?
Well, the solar panels have to be deployed, and like I was saying, I think that was supposed to happen.
What?
I think that was supposed to happen. Okay.
What?
Like 5.5 hours after landing, something like that. So I think that should have happened by now, because it's been about 6 hours and 42 minutes or so. So yeah, but I guess I'm not.
Google search, see if there's something you might be wrong or something.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing that. Touchdown.
It says
There's the first thing it did.
Touchdown and stuff, so I don't know why they're not giving you any information about the solar panels and stuff.
Yeah, because obviously that's pretty important. Gotta say. Pretty important. Let's see, is there any other
Now!
arrives?
1, 2.
Doggies.
Yeah, I didn't see any updates since they basically since they sent that picture and said that it was in good health.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Not seeing anything new yet. So, all right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. I mean, it sort of looks like everything. Everything is okay. You know, they got that beacon back saying that everything was okay. I actually thought it was kind of funny, and maybe I just have a weird sense of humor, but I thought it was kind of funny that the I'm okay beacon, X-band beacon, came in after the first picture. So yeah, I don't know. I guess if you get a picture, it's probably everything's okay.
Maybe probably a press conference would have helped and stuff.
What's that?
A press conference would have helped.
Well, they had one afterwards, and I encourage you to go watch that because you know, everybody's really excited, and you know, I mean, it's a great day, right? We're going to be doing some really some new things up there, which, you know, I mean, the imaging and the chemistry and all of that is very cool, and um, you know, pretty important. But this seismology thing that's a big deal. So that's that is going to be extremely interesting, what they find out there. I think this probe thing, yeah, I don't know. It's I'm not quite sure. I mean, they're going to really be relying on models to be able to extrapolate down to the core. So, you know, they're going 5 meters down. That's their maximum, and they're saying with that amount of sampling, they'll be able to tell, you know, what's actually even much deeper. And I don't know. I mean,
Now,
there's a lot of variables there. So yeah, hard to tell. But the seismology thing, that you know, if it works, if it didn't get all dinged up and everything, because I actually heard during the I don't know if it was the press conference afterwards or if it was during the landing itself that I think the max G was like 8.4 Gs. So you know, to a seismometer, that's you know, apparently sensitive to motions the width of a hydrogen atom. 8.4 G, man, I hope they packed that thing well. So yeah, I'm sure they did, and I'm sure they tested it all and you know, threw it around, bounced it around a little bit. I mean, I don't think how much does a like a bouncing ball, how much G-force does it experience? Just sort of a normal bounce. That's an interesting question. You know, normal velocity, be able to figure it out, I guess. But I don't know. What do you think about that? How many G's does a you know, regular old bouncing basketball feel when it bounces off the ground? Is that a few G's?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I've never thought about it.
No, me neither.
Never thought about it. So yeah, I'm thinking it's got to feel at least a few G's. You know, because, you know, I mean, even a regular bouncing ball deforms quite a bit. So I would think a few G's, but InSight felt, you know, over 8. So for a pretty short period of time, right? That was just the maximum, right? So, and that's kind of it. That's going to be an interesting profile. Just the G-force versus time, right? It's going to be an interesting shape. So yeah, they'll have all that data, and yeah, it'd be interesting to get a hold of that for myself, because I could put that to some music and or at least make the data audible, right? So we can listen to it. So we can listen to the entry of this thing. Could be interesting. Could be interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if I can find that that data. So cheers. Got the hydrogen hydroxide again tonight. Cheers.
Got the bottle of water. Cheers.
Cool. Excelente. All right. Well, let's see. So
I also want all those G's, Mars G's.
What's that?
Check the chat.
Oh, you know, that's a good question, and I think the answer is these are regular Earth Gs. I think they are measuring that in Earth Gs, not Mars Gs. Yeah, there is a distinction, right? Yeah, and that's the other interesting thing. You know, they kept talking about supersonic parachutes, right? Well, supersonic is actually relative to Mars. So supersonic speeds at Mars are quite a few times the supersonic speed of Earth. So yeah, I want to say it's really fast. Probably thousands and thousands of kilometers an hour is my guess. So, but still, you know, I mean, supersonic is supersonic, and you know, to have a parachute be able to behave correctly at supersonic speeds, that's pretty amazing stuff. So, you know, we humans we can do things pretty well. We just have to want to, but then it's, you know, but then it gets easy.
The parachutes was the one part that I was curious about, because I saw some video and they talked about how they had tested, you know, the instruments under conditions that they thought were similar, and they tested the parachutes in a wind tunnel, but I don't see how they could really replicate the conditions on Mars in a wind tunnel on Earth, just because of the atmosphere is so much different. But they must have had a pretty good idea, because they seem to work quite well.
Yeah, because I mean, I guess what you're saying is right, is that they would also have to match the density of the air, right?
Yeah, unless there's some way that the speed can correlate to density, you know, and if you get more wind speed, that matches the increased density. But I would think those are different kind of things.
I'm thinking that in terms of parachutes, it has to do with flux, right? With the amount of air, and I don't know if there's a difference between a fast-blowing, low-density wind or a slow-blowing, high-density wind. In terms of the amount of air in like a given cross section, right? A given area, per unit time, I think it would be the same, right? Well, I mean, you could balance those. So, right? I mean, is that right? That a fast-moving wind on Mars would feel like a slow-moving wind on Earth? Is that right? I think so.
I think that's true, yes.
Okay. So maybe the wind tunnels just don't have to blow as fast, right? They still have to blow at whatever Mars Mach speed it is, but that has to do with the amount of air, and maybe all that changes when you're supersonic, right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about any of that stuff. Anyway, interesting to think about, at least. So, but yeah, it's down. I guess there's a chance that the
You gather us some data and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I guess they're the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter was also up at the time, and their plan was to actually image the descent. So they've done that before. They did it with Phoenix, and they did it with Curiosity, and they got the shot, right? In both of those cases, they got the shot showing the parachute and all that. So I'm thinking that since they've successfully done it 2 times before, we'll have successfully done it this time. And I mean, it sort of depends on what the schedule is in terms of doing a data link there. But I'm thinking that image is going to have a priority, and it may actually get down in the next day or so, because that would be a great shot, right? To actually see it descending, that would be absolutely awesome. I know. You get the shots from Curiosity and Phoenix were absolutely stupendous. So yeah, hopefully they'll be able to get that up soon. So yeah, very cool, very cool. All right, well, cheers to that. So yesterday I started thinking again about my photometry project that I'm doing with that scope there, and I have results, but up until today, I really wasn't understanding what I was seeing. So last night, I started talking about it and thinking about it here, and it's like, you know what, I need to look at that again. And so I did that today while I was watching all the InSight things. Yeah, I think what I'm seeing is actually making some sense. And so I think what I'm seeing, I'm pretty happy with. I am going to have, I think, some limitations in terms of magnitude, but even like 11th or 12th magnitude, if I can get down to that, and still be, pretty accurate, at least to within like 1/10 of a magnitude of what it should be, with the same kind of sized error bars, maybe 1/10 of a magnitude error. If I can do that or better, then I think I'm really, really close. I think I made a major step today in sort of understanding, and so yeah. Now what I'm doing is I'm sort of running through all of my data, because I have quite a bit, and seeing if, looking at other data sets, I'm sort of seeing the same kind of thing. And I've already looked at 2, and yeah, I think I'm pretty much completely understanding what I'm seeing. Finally, this is some of the densest matter in the universe right here. It's like I like to describe, it's at least as dense as neutron star matter, at least, right? So for things to actually get in there, it just takes a long time, right? So I think that is what's going on here, and it was the data that was actually confusing me a little bit. But yeah, now I think I've got it, which means finally I can proceed, right? I can sort of write all this up. Whoop, I can write all this up. You know, more for myself than anything else, just to make sure.
I agree.
Yeah, hey there. It was very, very cool, Ray. Nice to see you there in the chat. So, yeah, I'm going to write this up mainly for myself, just to make sure that you know I've covered everything.
Let us watch a simulation of it. That would have been cool.
Watching a simulation?
Yeah, like as it like goes on by in real time.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, they actually have those, right? I mean, you can go on pretty much anywhere, and those videos, those kinds of videos, are readily available. I think right on the InSight website. You know, there's an animation there showing the entry and all of that. So yeah, easy enough to find. And now what they'll be able to do, right, is they will be able to actually take the actual telemetry, right, the actual data, and put that into the animation, and that will actually be what actually really happened, right? Which is very, very cool. All right, so yeah, I think the confusion about my photometric results is resolved. I need to look at a little bit more data, but yeah, I think I understand what's going on, and yeah, it's just a thick head. That's all. Takes me a while. I'm slow. I'm a slow scientist.
So are you interested in some specific region of space, a set of stars, or are you just trying to figure out how to kind of do this work anywhere you're looking?
Well, I think I sort of have two plans. The first plan is to sort of, you know, just do my own thing. You know, basically follow my nose, see what happens. But I need to know how good this thing is, right? What the limitations are. But the other thing that I want to do is actually take advantage of my location, and actually see if and I have to work this out, because this is a relatively large commitment. But to actually sell telescope time, you tell me where to point and when, and I'll collect your data for you and deliver it or process it. You know, there's a bunch of options there. But yeah, so those are sort of the two things. The, you know, now, I mean, this is a small telescope, right? I mean, it's an 8-inch telescope. It's 0.2 meters, which, you know, sounds really great. So, you know, there are limitations that I have, and so I need to think about those and work on those a little bit more, because I want to be able to deliver a quality product, and so that side of things I'm going to have to work on a little bit more. But in terms of my own research, I'm if I can convince myself that I've got at least a tenth of a magnitude accuracy and precision, then I think in terms of photometric work, there's a lot of things that can be done. So yeah, and I think I'm just going to follow my nose on that, see where it leads. I definitely need to do some practice work. So probably what I'm going to do is start with like some variable stars. I'm really still interested in it was that flare star, UV SETI. Was it UV SETI? Oh, I don't remember now. That is just popping off these flares sort of randomly, and so that would be an interesting thing to actually watch, and the variability in that is greater than 1/10 of a magnitude. So those kinds of things I should be able to see. So there might be other things too. I started a project several years ago with my other telescope, with my Newtonian 10-inch, where I was doing photometry of Jupiter's 4 Galilean moons. I actually wanted to see if I could see the light curves of those moons vary as they went around the planet, or going around the planet. Those 4 moons are tidally locked, just like the moon that goes around us, right? It's the same face, right? It goes all the is always pointed towards the planet. So from our vantage point, as these moons orbit, we see different portions of the moon, and dark regions should look darker, and bright regions should look brighter, and you actually should be able to see these kinds of things. At least I calculated that I should be able to see them. I think they can. Well, I'm gonna have to check my numbers on that, but so yeah, I'd like to get back into that. Maybe I'm just gonna do some experimenting, photometric experimentation. As I said, probably starting with variable stars, but it's sort of looking like with the setup that I have right now, I'm limited to pretty short exposures, like 3 seconds is about as long as I can go, and so that limits the magnitude or the brightness of objects I can actually see, and to 1/10 of a magnitude accuracy with a with 100 2-second exposures, I was able to get better than 1/10 of a magnitude accuracy down to about magnitude 13 or so. So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. Now the brighter stars, like 9th, 8th magnitude, I was in the tens of millimagnitudes. So 0.05 magnitudes or less. So for brighter objects, the accuracy and precision is actually better. So yeah, it looks good. We'll see where all that goes. Who knows? But I'm just glad that I think I'm finally understanding what I'm seeing, because I'm really anxious to actually share it with you and actually the rest of the world too. You know, for what it's worth, right? I mean, this is not any kind of monumental kind of achievement or anything. It's just it's a thing that I definitely wanted to do. You know, to see how good this thing can actually get with a modest amount of effort. Right now, there may be things that I can do to actually improve on what I'm doing. Maybe the way that I'm doing flat fields is you know, not quite right. Maybe I need to take more of them. Maybe, you know, there's a bunch of different things, you know, that I have to work on, and I can work on all these things in parallel. So no problem at all. My 2019 astronomy plans don't have any. There's a lunar eclipse, I think, in January. That's going to be really, really cool. But yeah,
you don't have table, but I'm asking in the chat is the Weather Channel still naming winter storms?
I don't know. I don't know. Not quite sure.
And did you record on Hearts of Space?
Oh yeah, we do have to talk about Hearts of Space. I like to talk about music from the Hearts of Space. It's sort of my kind of sound, for the most part. Once in a while, there are some real bombs. Like, it's like, what are you guys thinking? Right? Most of the time, it's just really, really nice. And then once in a while, it's just like, wow, that's absolutely incredible. But it's space music, right? Space music, sort of ambient. It's yeah, it just, you know, it's sort of meditative, but not necessarily. Lots of energy, usually lots of energy. So yeah, definitely take a look if you haven't yet. Music from the Hearts of Space. It's HOS.com, and every Sunday from midnight Pacific time in the United States. So from midnight to midnight on Sundays, they put out a new show for free. You can listen for free, just that one day a week, and it's an hour long, and it usually has some kind of theme, right? Some kind of theme, which, you know, in the ambient realm, it's sort of hard to, you know, put things to a particular theme, but you know, it usually comes down to what scale is being used, what modality is being used, sort of the tempo, and I guess, you know, to a certain extent, what the instrumentation is, what the effects are, all of that. So yeah, definitely take a listen. I did listen to it and recorded it. What I do is what I've done since I was 7, right? Is you know, if there's something I like, hit the record button. When I was a kid, had a cassette recorder with a microphone on it, right? And used to sit in front of the radio and record, you know, from the speaker, go onto the tape, and then I've got the song. Well, you know, the modern day version of that is a recorder that I've got on this machine here behind me, Audacity, and that allows me to record any kind of input sound. And so I'm doing exactly the same thing that I've always done, just sort of, you know, a different, well, right? I mean, digital. And then I can
Yeah,
listen to it anytime I
that's
want.
pretty darn good. But for me, I have to set the defaults in order for it to make it work. Like, do you have to set the defaults as well too, Cosmic?
The defaults for what?
For the sound.
Well, at least on my system here, it seems to remember. So I don't have to change anything at all. In order to get...
Because I use my Bluetooth speaker, sometimes the defaults would change back.
Huh. Interesting. Hey, Daniel, that was a great try. That was a great try. I think...
Yeah, nice try, Daniel. Nice try. Well played.
I think that is an extremely valid request. But Nightbot has not tapped into the DSN yet. So we're going to have to work on that. I was talking about Nightbot functionality before. There might be a way that I can actually do that. So, yeah, because
like the solar data and the solar propagation report.
Yeah, they're going to be, this Mars InSight is a weather station, right? I mean, it's a weather station. It's going to be measuring pressure, temperature, all of that, right? And so those conditions are going to be sent back, and that data is going to be stored somewhere, right? So yeah, we just need to figure out how to access it, and then how to tell Nightbot to go grab it and do what it does to present it here. So it's a good idea. I like it.
Yeah, I was talking about the solar data and the solar propagation report. Is that still on the table?
Oh, I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to see if that site has any kind of back-end processing, so I can send it a request and it can send me text back, because I think that's what Nightbot wants, is a text response. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to look into that.
Hey, did you explain about you having to cut a little bit short yesterday?
Oh, well, let's see. Yeah, we were actually cut off yesterday, and let me tell you why. Because, and in fact, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go check. I'm pretty sure that I turned that off. Yes, I did. So what happens, and I've commented on this a couple of times before. It hasn't happened on Chrome, though. It's starting to happen on Chrome now, is that if I have a live stream running, after a little bit of time, my entire system just absolutely freezes. And so that's what happened yesterday, is I was running a live stream, which I was not aware of, and the whole system just froze and died. It's just like it was just absolutely gone. So yeah, I need to look and see what it actually shows on the stream. But yeah, that was definitely not.
Daniel Browning Web Station on Mars is something we definitely need, and we got a new dude called EMOT Facility.
All right, cool. Well, hey, welcome there. Welcome. Yeah. So we're talking astronomy for the most part. We're just talking about Mars InSight and I was talking about making some measurements with this telescope here a little while ago. So, yeah, pretty happy with all of that. And like I said, in terms of my own work, yeah, I think I'm just going to follow my nose a little bit and see where it leads. So yeah, I mean, if nothing else, it sort of feels a little bit nice to at least have the idea that I can get back into some, what I'm calling sort of basic research. So yeah, things have to definitely improve if I want to make any kind of improvements. But you know what? If I can do pretty well down to 13th magnitude, I think that's pretty good. I think that's all right for now. Yeah, there's a lot that can be done. So yeah, lots of things that can be done there. So yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that. Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. He was asking for it. He was asking for it.
Emma, you were asking for it. So sorry. So sorry. I that's great. Like I said, and I'm not going to linger on this. The fact that that trolls are coming in means that these videos are being seen a little wider, and that's okay. That's okay. So very, very cool. I it's, and I think a lot of people think about this too. I'm really curious about what is motivating. I mean, I assume that these are actual people, but I'm really interested in understanding what is motivating them, because it's a little weird, right? It's a little weird. You wouldn't, you know, if we actually were, physically, sitting on a back porch in our lounge chairs, right? And if somebody walked up,
hello, Bill.
Hey there, Uncle Bill. Um, uh, we're shooting the breeze, right? Some random person, that we've never seen before walks up, stands right in the middle, and says this. I mean, I'm going to scratch my head, and it's like, what are you doing, right? It's just a little weird. So, but yeah, I mean, I think it is an indication that this is spreading a little bit, and that's cool, and that's cool. And wow, I can't. I mean, what I always say is that I used up all my boredom when I was a kid, right? I think I used it all up because I haven't been bored. I mean, it's been 30 years at least. Yeah, I think I just used it all up. So I don't have any boredom anymore. I don't even know what that is. I don't have a clue. So, yeah, I guess it's boredom, but that's a concept that I just can't. I have no concept of that. So, yeah, maybe it is. Yeah, the thing of it is that they do have a life, though, right? I mean, they do, whether they want to.
I usually think like people are just like people that spit on their parents and their teachers.
Yeah, I don't know.
Plus, they're also hurting themselves, and they will experience the underworld if they don't repent.
Yeah. Anyway, so enough about the trolls. Ray is talking astronomy, so I like Ray. Ray, why don't you stick around? Cool. Yeah. Yes. Technically speaking, well, I guess with the coatings that they're doing now, maybe you don't have to, recoat as often, but make sure that your optics are clean, because it's really amazing how a little bit of difference goes a long way. So cool. I unfortunately, my 10-inch Newtonian.
I think that dude's back. What do you think about it?
What's that?
Check the chat.
Yeah, I see that. Well, immediate facts. I'm totally into those. So welcome. Nice to see you here. So we're talking astronomy, and in fact, right now we're talking about telescopes, telescope mirrors, and my mirror. It's been very neglected, and so I'm hang my head in absolute shame. It probably, well, it definitely does need a recoating for sure, but it might even need more than that. So it may have to be repolished, which is no bueno at all. So the poor thing was sort of neglected for a little while there. He's not in very good shape, which was actually one of the reasons which motivated me to get this one. The other problem with my other scope, my 10-inch Newtonian, is that its first mount was a Dobsonian mount, which I didn't have a tracking mechanism on. I found a nice German equatorial mount that at the time sort of looked like immediate facts.
What do you think about immediate facts now?
Yeah, what do I think? All right. Yeah, I think immediate facts. You go and completely enjoy your cake.
Yeah, enjoy your cake, you noob.
That's all I have to say about that. Bam. All right. Well, cool. So I hang my head in shame because my original telescope mirror, my 10-inch f5.6 that I actually purchased from Coulter Optical. Coulter Optical, I think, is still around, but got that from them. My life savings, right? Many winters of shoveling snow and raking leaves and digging things and all that finally paid off in an absolutely beautiful mirror, which
I just got a notification about the Mars InSight landing. They got a 360 video out right now.
About the landing, right? We know about
it's a
that.
Video.
A pretty what?
It's a 360 video.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm still hoping to hear about the solar panel deployment. So hopefully there's going to be one. Hopefully. So all right. Well, look, you guys, we are at the top of the hour, guys and gals, I should say. Yeah, you know, Ray, I don't think I'm going to get tired of this guy for a little while, at least. There's a few things that I need to work on for sure. One of them is the tracking. And you know, I don't have any kind of auto guider, and I don't think, and I'm going to have to revisit this because I think I came to the conclusion that I couldn't do it before with the system that I have. I don't think that I can do auto guiding with the system that I have. Auto guiding would, I think, would more or less fix the tracking problems that I'm having. The tracking isn't terrible, but it's definitely not good, right? I mean, like I said, I'm pretty happy if I can get a 3-second exposure. So that really limits things quite a bit. So, but you know, but with what I can work with, I think I'm pretty happy. I think I've got a pretty large set of objects that I can look at and just do, you know, starting with, you know, just some basic fundamental measurements. I can update the firmware. Yes. Which means, you know, potentially, yeah, I could actually, you know, for instance, you know, if I could get a hold of either some kind of API or the actual source code, then yeah, I would have a ball. I could probably, well, I don't know if I could make it any better, but I would definitely give it a go. So, but yeah, I can update the firmware on the scope. Yep, for sure. Are you asking me that for a particular reason, Ray? I'm checking the chat. All right, well, cool. Yeah, and you know, putting this on a wedge really isn't going to help much, you know, because once you've got motor control, yeah, I mean, tracking is tracking. No, actually, the fundamental problem is the hardware, right? I have an SBIG ST7 that has a parallel port, and it is being controlled by a piece of software called CCD Soft version 5. I don't know if the later versions even support the ST7 because it's so old. So that piece of software is running on this machine, and this machine is a Windows XP machine. So I have no way of having this XP machine talk to that telescope mount. So yeah, I've tried a few things. I'd have to revisit all of that to really explain why I don't think it's going to work. So I'm not going to try to do that now because that's not where my headspace is. But I think, Atta, when I got the scope, that's actually one of the first things I did. So I did update it when I first got the scope. I don't know if there have been any new updates or anything. I sort of doubt it. But yeah. As far as I can tell, there aren't any bugs, right? I mean, what I've got running here seems to run really, really well. It's just my pointing solutions sometimes aren't as good as they can be. So that makes the actual pointing and then the tracking a little bit funky. So, all right, I'm going to get out of here. Yay for InSight. They're on the ground. They're taking pictures. I think that's very, very cool. It's sort of full steam ahead in terms of doing some basic research here. I've got the perfect sky for it. I've got the perfect weather for it. So doing that kind of stuff. It's tedious work, right? You sit on the same object for hours at a time or days at a time. So it's nothing exciting at all. Now looking at the data, processing the data, that's fun because playing with data is always fun. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. I'm going to get out of here for now. So take care, everybody. Thanks, Tom. Thanks, Bobby. I will see you guys on the spin a little less than 23 hours from now. So take care, everybody. Bye.
Later, and Joe's could just suck it.